Have you ever found yourself waking up around 3 a.m., unable to drift back to sleep, lying in the stillness of the night and questioning whether something might be wrong with your body or mind? You are not alone. This experience is far more common among older adults than you might realize, and it is not just a random habit or simply part of aging. In this video, we will explore 5 compelling reasons why many people begin to wake up at this particular hour as they grow older, and what those early morning awakenings could actually be revealing about your health, your body, and your lived experiences. What you will discover goes far deeper than general assumptions. These insights are grounded in real science, covering areas like how your hormones shift, how your sleep cycles evolve, and how your emotional and social life might subtly influence your rest. Many people are unaware of these underlying rhythms that change with age. But by the end of this video, you may see your sleep patterns in a completely different light. We will look at both the physical and emotional layers of this issue in a way that is honest, uplifting, and filled with respect for the life journey you have already traveled. So if you have ever wondered, why does this keep happening to me at 3 a.m.? You are exactly where you need to be. Keep watching, because what you learn today may not only help you improve your sleep, it could deepen your understanding of what your body is really trying to communicate. Let us begin. Point 1. Of the most common reasons older adults find themselves awake in the middle of the night, particularly around 3 a.m., is due to the natural reduction in melatonin production that happens with aging. Melatonin is a hormone responsible for regulating our internal sleep-wake rhythm, often referred to as the body's biological clock. It plays an essential role in helping you not only fall asleep but stay asleep throughout the night. In your younger years, your body likely released a strong and consistent amount of melatonin, which supported long periods of deep, restful sleep. However, as you grow older, the production of melatonin gradually decreases, and that change can noticeably affect the quality and consistency of your rest. You may still fall asleep without trouble at the beginning of the night, especially after a busy or calm day, but by the early morning hours, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or 4 a.m., your melatonin levels may drop too low to keep you sleeping soundly. You might wake up not because of noise or a disturbing dream, but simply because your brain is naturally returning to a more alert state, without enough melatonin to hold you in deep sleep. This is not a sign of failure or a defect in your body. It is simply a natural shift in your body's chemistry as you age. Environmental factors can make this effect even stronger. Light exposure from outside your window, the glow of a digital clock, or even a dim hallway light can further suppress melatonin levels. As people age, their sensitivity to such environmental triggers increases, making a 3 a.m. wake-up feel even more inevitable. Take Harold, for example. He is 72 and used to consider himself a solid sleeper. But recently, he has been waking up around 3:15 a.m. almost every night. He does not feel anxious, just completely awake, as though it is already morning. When he realized this was not a personal failing but a natural change linked to melatonin, he stopped blaming himself and started making adjustments. He began keeping his bedroom darker, stayed away from screens for at least an hour before bedtime, and incorporated a light evening walk to help reinforce his natural sleep rhythm. These simple habits now remind his body that it is still nighttime, and although he still wakes up early on occasion, he is no longer fighting against his body but working in harmony with it. This kind of realization can make a real difference. When you understand that early waking is not necessarily your fault but rather a natural chemical change, you can take practical steps to improve your sleep instead of feeling frustrated. That's the power of awareness. It shifts your perspective from blame to understanding and encourages healthier, more compassionate self-care at night. Another key reason many older adults find themselves awake around 3 a.m. is due to a natural shift in the body's internal timing system, something known as advanced sleep phase. As people age, their circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock, tends to move forward. This shift can lead to feeling tired earlier in the evening and waking up earlier in the morning. You may notice yourself dozing off during a late-night TV show or waking at dawn without setting an alarm, even on days when you wish you could sleep longer. This change is not simply a matter of habit. It is a deeply rooted biological adjustment that tends to become more noticeable with each passing year. When you are younger, your sleep cycle often aligns with a later bedtime and a morning wake-up that matches the rising sun. But as your internal clock moves forward, your natural sleep window shifts as well. Without even planning it, you might find yourself falling asleep by 9 p.m. or earlier, and as a result, your body has already completed a full rest cycle by the time 3 a.m. arrives. That is why you may wake up in the middle of the night feeling fully rested, even though it is still dark outside. This does not mean anything is wrong. It simply indicates that your internal rhythm has changed. Think of it like a gently resetting clock that gradually ticks ahead with age. While this adjustment is completely natural, it can be inconvenient if your daily schedule or personal routine does not match this new pattern. There is also a subtle psychological aspect to consider. Many older adults live in quieter homes or spend more time alone, and this calm environment can encourage the body to wind down earlier in the evening. Without the busy noise and activity that once delayed bedtime, like work obligations or evening social plans, your system begins to settle down sooner. If you are retired or no longer have a rigid daily structure, the absence of external cues such as commutes, meetings, or social gatherings can make this shift in rhythm even more pronounced. Let us consider the story of Charles, a 68-year-old retiree. He usually eats dinner around 5:30 p.m., watches a bit of television, and goes to bed by 9 p.m. By 3 a.m., he often wakes up naturally, feeling alert and refreshed. Initially, he believed he was suffering from insomnia, but once he learned about advanced sleep phase, he realized that his sleep pattern was not broken, it was simply operating on a new timetable. Charles then began to make small changes to his evening routine. He started staying up a little later by reading under a soft light, taking gentle evening walks, and occasionally chatting with his daughter before bed. These light social and sensory engagements helped extend his sleep window just enough to wake closer to the morning. The result? Fewer awakenings at 3 a.m. and a daily rhythm that felt more balanced and in tune with his life. This forward shift in sleep schedule is a common experience among older adults, though it is rarely discussed. Understanding it can ease confusion and reduce self-blame, allowing you to work with your body instead of resisting its changes. So if you find yourself waking up early and feeling like your rest is already complete, it may simply be that your internal clock has moved forward. And with this awareness, you can begin to reshape your habits in ways that nurture better well-being. Another frequently overlooked reason why many older adults wake up around 3 a.m. is the body's reaction to physical discomfort or hidden health conditions that often become noticeable during the quiet hours of the night. As individuals grow older, the likelihood of experiencing chronic ailments or minor health complications increases significantly. These issues often do not present themselves in dramatic or alarming ways. Instead, they manifest subtly, such as a throbbing joint, an urgent need to use the restroom, or a sudden twinge in the back, and these small discomforts can be just enough to disturb sleep in the early morning hours. For example, conditions like arthritis can make it difficult to remain comfortable while lying in the same position for long periods. Initially, you may drift off into a peaceful sleep without any problem. However, after a few hours of staying still, those stiff joints can become sore enough to interrupt your rest. Similarly, acid reflux can become more pronounced at night, especially if you've eaten your evening meal too late or reclined shortly after eating. This can result in stomach acid moving upward, causing a burning sensation in the chest or throat that is enough to rouse you from your sleep. Other less obvious triggers, such as a dry mouth, leg cramps, or even a small drop in room temperature, can also prompt a light awakening around 3 a.m., particularly since the body becomes more sensitive to such environmental and physical cues with age. One of the most widespread reasons older men, in particular, find themselves awake at that hour is the increased need to urinate. As we age, the bladder gradually loses elasticity, making it less capable of holding urine for extended period. This means that the urge to urinate can strike more quickly and more often. During the daytime, you might not notice it as much because your mind is occupied with various activities. But in the stillness of night, when all is quiet and dark, the need becomes far more apparent. And once you rise to use the restroom, even if it is just a short walk to the bathroom, your body can easily transition from deep sleep to a more wakeful state, making it difficult to fall back asleep once you return to bed. Medication is another factor that can quietly disrupt sleep. Many older adults are prescribed medications to manage high blood pressure, heart disease, or chronic pain. While these drugs are essential for maintaining overall health, they often come with side effects that can interfere with sleep quality. These may include increased frequency of urination, changes in body temperature, or heightened sensitivity to noise or light, factors that might not be immediately linked to sleep problems unless you start tracking your nighttime habits more closely. Take the story of Eleanor, a 76-year-old woman who had always considered herself a light sleeper. Over time, she began waking up consistently around 3:30 a.m. At first, she chalked it up to normal aging. But after a discussion with her physician, she learned that one of her medications was subtly affecting her hydration balance, which in turn increased her nighttime bathroom visit. With her doctor's guidance, she adjusted the timing of her medication and made a few gentle lifestyle changes, such as limiting fluids before bedtime. As a result, she now wakes up less often and finds it much easier to fall back asleep when she does. The key takeaway here is that waking up due to physical triggers does not mean your body is failing. It actually means your body is working properly. These wake-ups are not faults. They are your body's way of signaling that something needs attention. When we pay close attention to these cues, they can lead us to smarter health decisions, gentler self-care, and a deeper appreciation for our body's wisdom. What might feel like a frustrating interruption at 3 a.m. could actually be a gentle reminder to make small, positive changes that result in more peaceful, restorative sleep. Another meaningful yet often underestimated reason why many older adults find themselves awake around 3 a.m. comes down to their long-established daily routines, those small, repeated behaviors that gradually influence the body's internal clock. As people grow older, they often begin having dinner earlier, settling down sooner in the evening, and engaging in less movement throughout the day. While each of these changes might seem insignificant on its own, together they slowly teach the body that nighttime is starting earlier, which naturally shifts wake-up times forward as well. As life becomes calmer, especially after retirement, the body no longer benefits from the same time-structuring activities it once did, such as driving to work, running errands, or doing tasks that stimulate the mind and body. Without those daily anchors, the internal sleep schedule can drift earlier. A peaceful evening with low lighting and minimal mental engagement may signal the brain to start producing melatonin ahead of time, inviting drowsiness before you even notice it's still early in the evening. Once you fall asleep earlier, your body completes its rest cycle sooner too, often leading you to wake up in the stillness of night. Around 3 a.m. meal timing also plays an important role in sleep regulation. While eating dinner earlier in the evening is usually considered a healthy habit, it can sometimes result in lower blood sugar levels overnight, especially if you do not eat anything light before bed. Even if you do not feel hungry, this drop can be enough to wake your body out of sleep. Likewise, having caffeine in the late morning or early afternoon can remain in your system longer than you think, particularly because metabolism slows with age. This lingering stimulation can prevent deep sleep and make you more sensitive to waking up from even mild disturbances. Take Walter, for example, a 74-year-old who recently stepped into retirement. His routine slowly changed without him realizing it. His days became less structured, and his evenings quieter. He started eating dinner at 5 p.m., often dozing off while watching the evening news, and regularly went to bed before 9 p.m. As these habits became the norm, Walter found himself waking up around 3 a.m., wide awake and confused about why he was alert so early. After taking a closer look at his daily schedule, he made a few simple tweaks, incorporating a short afternoon walk, reading under brighter light in the evenings, and avoiding naps after dinner. These shifts helped delay his bedtime just enough to naturally align his waking hours with the morning. What is truly fascinating is how often we ignore the strong influence of daily rhythm. Our bodies thrive on consistency, repeating patterns that give clear signals to the brain about when it is time to rest and when it is time to rise. When those cues change or fade, the body's internal clock can become misaligned, leading to disrupted or premature wake-up. But by paying attention to your patterns and making gentle adjustments, you can help realign your sleep schedule in a way that feels more natural and restorative. If you are still watching and these insights are helping you understand your own sleep better, type number 4 in the comments below so I know you're here. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. It helps us keep creating content that informs and supports you on your journey. Let's move on to the next part. Another meaningful yet often underestimated reason why many older adults find themselves awake around 3 a.m. comes down to their long-established daily routines. Those small, repeated behaviors that gradually influence the body's internal clock. As people grow older, they often begin having dinner earlier, settling down sooner in the evening, and engaging in less movement throughout the day. While each of these changes might seem insignificant on its own, together they slowly teach the body that nighttime is starting earlier, which naturally shifts wake-up times forward as well. As life becomes calmer, especially after retirement, the body no longer benefits from the same time-structuring activities it once did, such as driving to work, running errands, or doing tasks that stimulate the mind and body. Without those daily anchors, the internal sleep schedule can drift earlier. A peaceful evening with low lighting and minimal mental engagement may signal the brain to start producing melatonin ahead of time, inviting drowsiness before you even notice it's still early in the evening. Once you fall asleep earlier, your body completes its rest cycle sooner too, often leading you to wake up in the stillness of night. Around 3 a.m. meal timing also plays an important role in sleep regulation. While eating dinner earlier in the evening is usually considered a healthy habit, it can sometimes result in lower blood sugar levels overnight, especially if you do not eat anything light before bed. Even if you do not feel hungry, this drop can be enough to wake your body out of sleep. Likewise, having caffeine in the late morning or early afternoon can remain in your system longer than you think, particularly because metabolism slows with age. This lingering stimulation can prevent deep sleep and make you more sensitive to waking up from even mild disturbances. Take Walter, for example, a 74-year-old who recently stepped into retirement. His routine slowly changed without him realizing it. His days became less structured, and his evenings quieter. He started eating dinner at 5 p.m., often dozing off while watching the evening news, and regularly went to bed before 9 p.m. As these habits became the norm, Walter found himself waking up around 3 a.m., wide awake and confused about why he was alert so early. After taking a closer look at his daily schedule, he made a few simple tweaks, incorporating a short afternoon walk, reading under brighter light in the evenings, and avoiding naps after dinner. These shifts helped delay his bedtime just enough to naturally align his waking hours with the morning. What is truly fascinating is how often we ignore the strong influence of daily rhythm. Our bodies thrive on consistency, repeating patterns that give clear signals to the brain about when it is time to rest and when it is time to rise. When those cues change or fade, the body's internal clock can become misaligned, leading to disrupted or premature wake-up. But by paying attention to your patterns and making gentle adjustments, you can help realign your sleep schedule in a way that feels more natural and restorative. If you are still watching and these insights are helping you understand your own sleep better, type number 4 in the comments below so I know you're here. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. It helps us keep creating content that informs and supports. Sometimes waking at 3 a.m. is not caused by physical issues, but by something deeper within, the emotions and thoughts we carry. As we age, the mental busyness that once kept difficult feelings at bay begins to fade. With fewer distractions at night, the mind naturally turns inward. In those silent hours, old emotions, memories, or unresolved reflections often come to the surface. You may find yourself lying awake, not due to physical discomfort, but because your mind is gently revisiting feelings you might not have addressed fully during the day. This kind of mental restlessness is not loud or chaotic like youthful anxiety. It is more like a quiet stirring, a gentle reminder that something inside you still needs attention. In the stillness, your thoughts may drift to past relationships, missed opportunities, unspoken feelings, or personal reflections that had no room to breathe in your busy years. And now that your days are calmer, there is space for these quiet echoes to be heard more clearly. Another factor that can contribute to this early waking is a sense of loneliness. Many older adults naturally experience fewer social interactions as their circles grow smaller, children build their own lives, friends become less available, and daily routines change. Even if your days are active or pleasant, the nighttime stillness can highlight the absence of connection. It may not feel like sadness exactly. Sometimes it is just the simple yearning to talk, to feel understood, or to not be alone in the dark. Take Gloria, for example. At 80, and living alone after losing her husband, she stays engaged during the day gardening, checking in with her grandchildren, and watching her favorite programs. But when the clock nears 3 a.m., she often wakes up, her mind drifting back to memories of her husband or the quiet worries she keeps tucked away. Initially, she worried there was a problem with her sleep, but in time, she realized it was not about rest at all. It was about her heart asking to be acknowledged. To soothe her emotions, Gloria began a simple bedtime practice. She keeps a small notebook on her nightstand. When she wakes, she writes down whatever is on her mind, just a few lines of reflection or memory. She also added comforting rituals, like listening to calming music or writing a kind note to someone before bed. These small acts gave her feelings a safe outlet, which helped ease her thoughts and gently guided her back into sleep. What we need to understand is this: our emotional life does not follow a clock. The heart remembers when it wants to, asks its questions when it needs to, and sometimes chooses 3 a.m. as the time to speak. This is not something to fear. It is a sign of emotional depth. If you are waking up in the stillness of the night, filled with quiet reflection, it may be a sign that your inner wisdom is ready to be noticed. You carry a lifetime of love, loss, lessons, and hope, and that makes you human. Instead of trying to push these moments away, consider meeting them with compassion. Ask yourself, what am I being invited to notice? What memory or feeling is asking to be seen? What part of me needs care in this quiet hour? Often, real peace comes not from avoiding these wake-ups, but from listening to them. And in doing so, you may not only rest more easily, You may also come to understand yourself more deeply in this meaningful chapter of life. As we bring this video to a close, take a quiet moment to reflect on what stood out to you most. Was it the adjustment in your body's natural timing, the subtle shifts in your health, or perhaps a deeper emotional rhythm that only surfaces when the world is silent? Each of the 5 reasons we've discussed offers a new way to look at those early morning awakenings, and none of them suggest that anything is broken or wrong. In fact, they highlight just how beautifully your body and mind continue to function, adapt, and respond during this stage of life. There is something truly empowering about recognizing the messages your body sends, especially during those peaceful hours before sunrise. Instead of viewing 3 a.m. wake-ups as annoying disruptions, you might start to see them as gentle reminders, signals encouraging you to pay closer attention to your habits, your feelings, and your overall well-being. You are far from alone in this experience. Many others are on this journey too, seeking understanding, and once you gain clarity, you gain the strength to make small but powerful changes that lead to better rest, more comfort, and a deeper sense of connection with your inner rhythm. If today's insights spoke to you, know this: you are not simply getting older, you are continuing to grow. And with that growth comes an opportunity to rest more mindfully. Treat yourself with more kindness, and greet each day with greater calm and awareness. Thank you for being with us today. We would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below sharing one thing that resonated with you and how you plan to apply it in your own life. Your voice matters to us, and your words bring energy and encouragement to our work. If this video was meaningful to you, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who may benefit. Your support helps us keep making thoughtful, helpful content that informs and uplifts. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.